Zong sang je gun je ngu ni rang sum ju gun ngu song tong ze bi da wei la mei xiang la ge jiang ze kang da xiao zhe dong ge ji na de ge long mei hui wang kang zu ling de dong mei ju jin xiao ren bei wa san ban du wa tang jin de re yi gen tong ma liao la ye bi du le tang de ji ge chong da da mi ye jin nam ne du wa gun je da ge che da ma tam je ge de da ge ju den du. Good afternoon. Dini dandang kita di tia di ubat dorjin changchen ne sungdi tingchen zawi lama yenji tis.
And so then on this teachings of the musings of a practitioner, it says, through the power of the blessings of great Vajradhara on down to the kind root guru.
Tini ta jatanga su juba siya di bemisi wikitini kechi mo imbare ta tini du tini ta juba di pena dorjin changchen ni 다 단대게 지 어쩌다 자외 라메 화데 지 주바 신하 그 뭐지네 지 그런 베닝어서 년에 년 슬랍도 어다 된대 지르 된대 주데베 기드니 신하버스 지고 그래 손래요.
So when we talk about the lineage of blessings and teachers, it's really an incredibly important part of the tradition. And here it says, through the power of the blessings of great Vajradhara on down to the kind guru. So here, what this refers to is a completely unbroken stream of blessings, of teachings and instructions and oral guidance and direct, connection from one master to the next, all the way from Vajradhara to our own kind gurus.
단들이 다지 지나쳐 두바돌지 다마치지 시그로 두바돌지 창스야디 다 돌지 창스야디 딱 뭔지야 뭐지 인지야 요버레 텐두 베나다 단다 페젤레 라오 강라 모 송비나 페제티스레라 그래 삼거도 텐두 돌지 창테다 제타 도이나 tene dorjen chang madundo ina tene shashatoba nga ina tene dorjen chang lapdwa.
So when we talk about the sixth Buddha, Vajradhara, the Vajra holder, the sixth means that they are the master of all the families, all the other five Buddha families. And so the essence of Vajradhara in this context, in a kind of simplified, easy way to understand, is that in the sutra tradition, the kind of essence of the Buddha is the Buddha Shakyamuni. And in the secret mantra tradition, the essence of the Buddha is embodied as Vajradhara. In Tibetan, it's Dorje Chang.
Dati da history da hubi na tene da nyama tene da Odiyana la gro Urjian Kigu Ula tene jarbo indam body se atene jarbo ji yo imare thi ka la tene anje jimden de thi ke nyam de tene da jom ba ini la tene chik ta chik zunchu ke top je tene par ta khang rom bo che la so ba ta tri ro yo sar ba ta udiyana de thanda di ta lamga ro khi ri yo sare te bena thanda ro ina ta te do north of Afghanistan Marima sorry this Pakistan cha de ro ro te ndi ne kanda yang tene tanda gerbo inda body tene ta tene ro thong be ka la tene inda body lombo to zola ta de khare sta te be mixing ro shure shas tene zuntu yo wa tene ta phe ya ro thong yo sa te khandi re la bit ne 다 결국 인도 모디 롬보도 게다 어제리 다디 산지 샤샤트 바데 근데 산지 샤샤트 바세야 데다 코랑 근데 다 제간 니마 결국 세 텐데리 디나요 제 다도 상마 랍 빵지 다 랍도 총지 근데 다 텐디치 제데 다 냠len치 근데 더당한테 코랑 근데 로마도 소레스 다 그거 뻥치 랍튼 좀 뭐다 티니지레스 니야 결국을 휴요레스
그랑 덴데 나신 체기르 베스 데
어떻게 gelako
uh-huh. um so in terms of the history, the story of historically where this tradition of Vajradhara came from, a long time ago, in the realm, the kingdom of Udayana, there was this famous king named Indrabhuti. And so this is kind of like semi-historical. And they traveled, this king and his ministers and so forth, traveled to various places like Mount Kailash and so forth. And this this king in particular and this kingdom of Udayana, these days it's considered to have been around in part of modern Pakistan, in the Swat Valley and so forth. And so at this time though, years and years ago, to Indrabhuti, this king, there was through magical power and so forth, the Buddha Shakyamuni manifested, and so the king Indrabhuti saw the Buddha Shakyamuni as someone who had who was a prince, born the son of a king, and who took, like Prince Siddhartha, sometimes we know Shakyamuni as. And so this prince took the vows of ordination and practiced, and then became the Buddha. And so then, seeing this emanation of the Buddha, the Shakyatubaki, the Indrabhuti, the Kerang Raptu Jung Chegirabes Nang.
Really, yes, so yeah, there. Right, so then King Indabody asked to the minister who is that, So the minister said, "Oh, this is the Buddha and the Buddha's retinues." So then, today King Indabody came out that today, Ketanga rap to Jumala, this Kabores, Najargores responsibility or in a young Yen Doyon to some upon it in a Rotugumaris. Yin a young Choran rap to Doyon long Jewish in the Ketam Corona, Sandy Charat, the Yonaminas, the Huyoro, Laviorwa. The minister or Tatina, that Choran, the Buddha, invite Chi, get a tea level.
So, yeah, excuse me. So then, I think the translation was a little off. So the King Indrabhuti was talking with his minister about the Buddha Shakyamuni, and he, the minister told him about the Buddha Shakyamuni being the son of the king and someone who had taken ordination and so forth, and then attained. And so the main thing was that the Buddha Shakyamuni had given up cyclic existence and taken up the vows of ordination and then attained enlightenment. And so when King Indrabhuti heard this, he said, well, that's, good for him, but, I myself, I can't, I am a king, I can't give up cyclic existence and the enjoyments of the senses and so forth. Um, and, but maybe if there was some Dharma instruction, you know, where I could still practice, maybe I should try to seek that out. And so he worked out with his minister that they should maybe invite the Buddha Shakyamuni to see, if there could still be some Dharma instruction to receive.
Pleasure. On the Pane, the Rapt Chune, a Sanji got to be your maris. Yina Yang and Doyon Long Gine, Sanji Taki your ways.
So then Indrabhuti invited the Buddha to come, and the Buddha came. And so Indrabhuti then said to the Buddha, you have given up cyclic existence and attained enlightenment, and through practicing with ordination and so forth. I myself, I cannot do that. However, I cannot give up the sense pleasures and so forth and abandon my throne. However, do you have a Dharma instruction for me whereby I can enjoy the sense pleasures and still attain enlightenment?
So the inner world has the lot of merit previous life. So then Buddha reply, yes, you can. So that time is even the Buddha transformed to the Vajradhara. So basically, I don't know transform means, or maybe just he was Buddha. He just only, the Dharma ropes and begging bowl, right? But so then we call the Sambhogakaya form. So then the Buddha kind of we ordinarily, thinking he just changed it, clothing, see the earrings, crowns and all the necklace, kind of his color. And so then, so the Sambhogakaya form, they are actually what called this what is the edge, the ornamentings, he's wearing, and the 5 garments transformed. Then he gave the informant, He Vajra. No, the song. What is that?
Somewhat Guya Samaja?
Guya Samaja giving informant giving to King Indrabhuti. So since then is the Vajradhara. So actually this ultimately is no different Vajradhara and Buddha. But why this the Vajradhara? So this Vajradhara sense, then we can lineage Vajradhara and then the Loba. So on this called a profound lineage or what about the blessing lineage. And then that name some dark to some sort of yogi, chinap, so nam la denis. That's all because did some chat to the other. Chat to ya de Carsenata, Chuba Dojin Chan is soon the tingent of it, like me teens on that tiki gadi. Tatans. The Gana Yiki, that Lama Jubaro Jubichinap. Then dark to some sort of yogi, that rank Rank and demo of the two sums are between Yawatan. In a not Rangi Lenji, the UVK, in it with the nature. Then that tea to soak it chin up down, top down. Then Rank sonam latianis. Soon the tang the water matani to brace, to over shore, Laviaki, and Nupaji Guru. Nupati Karosna, Rank it in it, Tijalame, Savelame, teen town. Dark to some sort of Gavatan, you be Gavatan, chin up the Pictat, you walk some other like a toro. Talk of a show was love that.
And so here it says, through the power of the blessings of great Vajradhara on down to the root guru, the kind root guru, and through the merit of the intrinsic virtue, along with all the virtue I have accumulated in the 3 times. Then there are all these prayers. And so this opening begins by invoking, so through the power of the blessings of the all the gurus from Vajradhara on down to my own root guru, and through the merit that I have accumulated, that we all have accumulated in the 3 times, the past, present, and future, and through the merit of intrinsic virtue, which is the Buddha nature, the merit of the inherent Buddha nature that we all have. By all this, then we invoke the blessings, and we ask to be able to have the following accomplishments and so forth.
다 좋더라도 다 아주 추념내 치비네가라 다 당기 콘슈버나 예 아주 소놈 소고레스 당기 휴차와레 다 이미 티나라다 대바고도 대바도 자체 뭐 쉬운 바래 디니다 조 가르잖아 지 라마탕 로마세야 대가나 이게 다 대바샤사다 상지리 대바샤사다 라마레 디인도 Teba telada, Jura maybe Tebaji Usaris.
So, when we practice the Dharma, then of course we all need to accumulate merit. That's necessary, and then in addition, we have faith. And so faith is something that is cultivated between students and the teachers and the Buddhas and so forth. And so when it comes to how we should have faith towards the root and lineage gurus, then it is said that we should have and cultivate unchanging faith.
다 대요래. 다 참는 가서 썸는 당그러와. 근데 내가 지요래. 다 대인도 직배들 라마도 오제고 라마나 대바치고래 라마다 대바치고래 라마 코랑게 취티 임반도 오지로와. 다 라마라 카레 라메케 칼츠고래 라마라 테네 대바고래 라비. 한가서 직 superficial way 가서 다 지가 대바치나 라메치 팀반도 오와. 라마리아 대바치 그겹치 다 텐데로 이제 섬고요래 텐데 다 고디스타지 라마라 따고로와 이나야다티 페용스요도 좀 방고로와 티 페용데 슬 펜도요와 계속 뭐 방법です.
So there's an important point about faith, and so um, a lot of us, when we think about faith, if someone has, says like, "Oh, you should have faith towards the teacher," particularly if like the Lama says, "Oh, you should have faith towards me," we might think, "Oh, here's this Lama," and they, on this superficial level, they're like, "Yes, have faith in me, serve me, listen to my words and instructions, follow them," and we might think, "Oh, they're just like doing this for themselves. They want people to follow them." And sure, on some level, it's important to have some awareness and, not be blind, and we need to investigate the lamas, to some degree. However, if we really look at who is benefited by faith, there is an important point.
die zu Karsena. Yeah, first they said you can. So interesting too, So sometimes we study different tracks or knowledge. That's okay. You can whatever need to necessary to faith or devotion. But also they're saying if you really investigate, this Lama is good quality or not. You can check, you can choose, but the later on you can choose or Lama or teacher. So then you have to pay the devotion. So actually, this someone really sincerely pay the devotion to Lama or devotion to Buddha. So that person benefit not, maybe little bit or Lama, something, you take care of the Lama, maybe little benefit, but really benefit the Dharma practitioners. So 개바스야 디게 되네다 원이 자네코 가르치고서나 다 이체직 되네다 고베지 가서 샘 다마지 레부여로 솔바 땡기 다마지 레부여로 대바스야. 자 또가 샤리알라 나 지타 조치알라 존주고 그래다 mam보고 그래나 대바스야 디게 되네 아 그래서 누파지 레부고다 대바스야 디.
So, when we talk about faith and having, confidence in the teachers, then this is something that the power of this faith, the power of this devotion, it opens up our mind. And so when we practice, of course, we need to practice and meditate with diligence and so forth. However, through the power of faith, we can open up our mind to go beyond ourselves, to gain deep realization through the power of faith alone.
근데 제타다 대바 메미나 이는 가서다 똑바지 계속 존류요 되네 데 존류요 대가나 이게 직 갈세보다 헤라비요 차상 요비네야 대바 메미나 당원에 단다디지 랑트 똑바 차도 침부 똑바다 잠 샤투요 말봐 샤투 말이스 가서 놓고 들을 당마지 배 상마상이 질라투요 말.
So, if we don't have faith and devotion, even though, we might try to practice and meditate with diligence, we might have really strong intellectual knowledge about the practices and the nature of the teachings and so forth. But if we don't have that faith, devotion, and deepest, confidence, then we really can't transcend our ordinary mind into full realization of Mahamudra. We can't go beyond ourselves.
我的电影对他我从上面台把这个去的我上过电影他马的是，那个台把永远的偏多的看啥提举了的有了吧？大概
So then, here, when we understand that, then we realize that uh, the beneficiary of our faith isn't, the person, some individual human that we are having faith towards, but the ultimate beneficiary is ourself.
음. 대인들이 처럼서 지기는 염려 유지래. 대인들이 또 가르쳐나 지 샘그 누파 가르쳐 파죠 때 지. 아무한데 지. 샘 정말 레비아디 the perfect pure mind arise. When they arise, they sincerely fed. Otherwise, like even though you practice but never like I don't know, sort of like not like sunshine, not kind of mind is little bit still there is conflict always, even though you're diligent, practice or a lot of mantras or a lot of meditations, but the final like not connected to the Buddha nature. So your own Buddha nature or like or Lama or Buddha's the connection is not really kind of little bit fuzzy, not really connected. You can know that. So same, so if really the faith and devotion sincerely, they're completely kind of open. Also it feels, so if you really sincerely faith, and then it's whatever you do, this no kind of no discourage, you can do if you faith and devotion. So also this, as long as we are alive, if really connection to your, also actually is sometimes difficult to teach it, but then you connect to Buddha. Okay, just remind and the Buddha and again. Then this life, not like all time, but you really kind of really connected. And then if you die, like immediately you already connected, you're there. So otherwise we're not connected to the Buddha or whatever teacher. But then maybe we die, maybe they are confusing or sick. So this the difficult. So at the end of that, so 대바레스, 대바에다 또 번째야 타디 대바레스. 뒤에다 대바디 이유는 얘네다 네 워드 정말다 중토비어레스.
So, really, ultimately, it all comes down to faith. When we have faith and open up our minds with faith, then we are able to give rise to realization. So, all the accomplishments that we talk about later, all of these, the source is faith.
But also sometimes the real faith is very difficult. So someone has the real faith and devotion, the realization is come immediately you can get. So it's not necessarily something teaching, Now, for instance, Teloba, right? Naroba. So the story is so Naroba is very, very kind of Terawaka scholar or what called this Penta, what called Penta.
Yeah, scholar.
Yeah, scholar Penta. The famous, the entire university, this the Kamashile. So then he one day is kind of like study. So also he's like already wrapping his previous karma, So one day, so he reading something he study, practice. Then he saw some shadow, So he looked, there are one woman, so sort of like old woman. So then, so he sort of like he asked, "Oh, what do you need?" You know. So then the woman said, "Oh, you know this dharma or word, you know word, right? 책 그래 word.
Yeah.
책이라고 생기우서 동이라고 생기우서.
Um, so do you know the Dharma words? Do you know the meaning of those words?
그 이랬더니 어당에 그대 책도 야고 생기우라 그러와.
So then Naropa first said, "Yeah, yeah, I know the words of the Dharma really well."
So then he was sort of like happy, enjoy, you know. So then, interesting. So then I thought, oh, I know, you know, the words, but also I know the meaning. So then kind of he really upset and just laying the ground, and so then he said, why are you doing this? You know, I said, I understand the word. You are really happy. And I said, I understand the meaning. Said, you were really upset. Why? I said, then he said, yeah, of course, you are a scholar. You know the words, but you lie. You don't know the meaning. So then he says, oh, okay. So then Naruba, because he's like scholar, so this is not like not ordinary woman, you know. So then he said, oh, okay, if I need to understanding meaning of where I can learn it, you know. So then he said, oh, okay. So if you're really learning the meaning, then you see my brother, Biloba. So then he, where's Biloba? So then he didn't show the direction exactly, but just you go ahead east. So then the Loba does kind no Naroba sense, then he hearing the Loba name. Like kind of sacrifice, just kind of day and night walking, everybody ask, oh, where's the Loba? Where is the Loba? So also these hardships, you know. So we this morning, you know, can the parents, right? So sort of these like 12 different hips, hardships, you know. So we don't have the time, so I know this word hardship, but so then the finally, so he found a Teloba, but he never teaches Dharma or could do something, you know, stupid things. Really is that, you know, so he tested, or can you jump, you know, this maybe throw a 3-story house or something. Or sometimes they're very difficult. He jumped, there's no hesitation, said the Lama. Well, he have a broken legs, and then his Lamas did blessing, he's okay. And one time he's okay, can you stealing things? He did, and then he beating them, you know, so on. But later on, the one day, okay, now I can teach you. So you something like a clean up, prepare, maybe some make small throne. Then I can teach you Dharma. So then Naruba did, you know, the clean up, a small throne. And then he said, oh, now it's ready, you know. So then he said, what talking about, you know? So then just he take off the shoes, the hit that is Naruba's head. So he just knocked off. But then he just counter come back, the 100% realization as same as the Teluba. So that's kind of faith. So if you are faith, really is the no need to something, you know, learning. So he unshakable, whatever he Naruba said, okay, jump or whatever this kind of, I said stupid things, looks like ordinarily we thinking, you know, no reason there is, you know, I think one time he said that the kings, queens, the riding elephant. But then he said, "Oh, can you can you do this? The king's wife is really pretty. Maybe you can take out the forces." So he just jumped up. He did. of course, the kings and ministers beating him. So, but anyway, so this kind of like, but those are happening is probably emanation Tiloba, not really, maybe not really king or this. Also, before said, okay, can help me. They killed my parents. Maybe not really. There's the person maybe Tilobas emanate whatever they show. So anyway, so this of the faith is if I have the faith and devotion, then there is 100%, get realization. Also, tell our Joanji Tenzum Gonkine, Lama Kunji Kandala, Moguji Nima Mashana, and Chinabji Chiju Minjung Base, Semogundala Nendanzo Zondo.
Also, the master Jigten Sungun taught in his song of the realization of fivefold Mahamudra. If on the snow mountain of the gurus, four kayas, the sun of devotion does not dawn, so the sun of devotion does not shine, then the flowing river of blessings will not come. So the sunlight of devotion on the guru's snow mountain of the four kayas, if it doesn't shine, then it will not melt to create the flowing river of blessings. And so for this reason, you should carefully cultivate devotion.
So that's just, yeah. And also this we have like hundreds, stories on not whatever. So one time also I remember I was in the Dalai Lama's spring teaching. So he told what happening. So actually one woman, she tried to skip from Tibet to India. And along the way, so there's kind of, she stuck, like snow, maybe no food. So he think, 100% you could die there. So just he prepare, so, and so he, okay, so he accepted that. So, and then just the deeper part, just pray Dalai Lama, I die, but so he prayed. Then immediately he saw the Dalai Lama there, and something I don't know, kind of instruction, but he able to manage to come to the India. So Dalai Lama said, Dalai Lama himself, I know India, I not in the, Himalayas, but he said he's not lying because he has faith. So faith is tremendous powerful. It comes in life, show up. So that's he said he's not lying. That's true. But he said I wasn't there. He said I don't remember anything. But because of power of the faith. So that's one. And then that choose gondon over change laws.
So then it says, please bless me to understand the purpose of practicing Dharma.
That choose the and you can't shoot an idea. Young also cutting choose randomly choosing dig marwa. Tigana is randomly choose the young man or the koji chig do ngaji chig the anoji and chin dig your marwa. In the choose here, Bufa Jim Zankare. Lamina, not some Kurvandili, Taria. Gangendili, Tariaki Chito Latini, Haku,
So, um, here it says, please bless me to understand the purpose of practicing the Dharma. And so, when we practice the Dharma, it's not um, that we should just, look at the Dharma and kind of randomly think, oh, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that, and just, you know, randomly, choose different Dharma practices for no apparent reason. That is not what we should do. What we should do is practice the Dharma so that we can become liberated from cyclic existence. And so that, with that purpose in mind, and practicing along those lines, then we will correctly be able to practice the Dharma.
다 뒤에 잡아 마루바 친지로 다 추치네 거지 추치바들라 다 거지 오텐틱도 추치야 돼 개침보레스 뒤에 잡아를 라면 단가 희지 오가 몸이야 보자 추치네 나라 배샤라 그래 너 선바다 양가 추치네 메이라 그래 선바다 오다 와 든디 그 섬노다네 추치네 되네 오 노노 그래스 추치야들 심정이 통치하러 심지어 통치비나 라랑 통도 그러와 어때도 되네 야 추치 되네 지 goal main purpose different이나 되네 되네 추치 고 자완도 run도 그래스 되네 마음을 허고스라고다.
So then it says, please bless me to not become corrupt, or to not corrupt that root. And so here, this is about wanting to practice the Dharma authentically. And so if we practice and meditate with the intention of making money, if that's our foremost objective, if, we want to become famous and have wealth and power and so forth, and we have worldly goals, this is really not authentic Dharma practice. And so if we practice with such intentions, then our Dharma becomes corrupted by worldly aims. And so if we are really practicing to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, then our practice is authentic. So here we pray, please bless me not to corrupt that root.
다 좋은 것을 추지 당지세요. 당지대 당지 쇼체는 로그나 다고 자와 run도 요로와 추지네. 추지가 가라 당지 총으로 총으로 다 되고요.
So the main thing when we practice the Dharma, we're seeking to overcome our selfishness, our self-clinging. And if we practice with selfish intentions, then that's not authentic Dharma. But if we practice and our self-clinging, our self-grasping and selfishness becomes less and less, then that really is the authentic way to practice.
제가 나 양가 삼상 것은 misunderstanding 제야요. 당지 메일도 nga khaya 보면도 nga take care 치고 보면도 되네 라고요 말했어. 테인이 가서 그 루인들 텐저지 물로 자친 버르랑 치고가다 치고 그랬어. 너랑 take care 치고 그랬어. 이는 same 게 땡는 짐바고 nga 고고도 nga 세 쇼친 보진 현상도 마다나데 당지 차로 마다요.
So it's important not to have a misunderstanding about this, though. Sometimes people misunderstand this and think, oh, well, you shouldn't allow yourself any good things or any comfort. You need to, it doesn't matter if everything's terrible in your life. This isn't for you. That's not the case. We need to sustain our human body with its freedoms and advantages, and it's okay to have some degree of be comfortable so we can practice. But the important point is to not get obsessed with selfish things in our mind, if we are grasping in our mind constantly, selfishly and so forth, that's uh, what we need to avoid. But some people can sort of take this too far as well, so don't have that misunderstanding.
아니 딱 꿀롱테 디니제 딱 가상 휴가나 이 몰람디아 심지어 경치고 삼바 디니제 보고 요사레 심지어 동 지나 당지트 칼레 총는 거 그래 당지트 총은 도나 근데 고지 맞다 딱 까니세야 돼 매와 대차도
So, really, the important thing is to have the correct motivation and intention. And so, our motivation and intention should be to help all sentient beings. And when we cultivate this intention, then our selfishness, our self clinging should become less and less. And so, if our self grasping and clinging and selfishness is declining, then we are practicing the right way.
So tene da devi junne gewa hebarsho dungi junne mege hebarsho junde lomi rangi lomi hebarshos.
And so then it says, may I understand the cause of well being to be virtue. May I understand the cause of pain to be non virtue. May I understand the nature of cause and result to be infallible.
Tene da ngaso gewa mege waroji chivina mege waje ke chidu da me himbaje ke da koji ngaso chebando ju ne punishment chinyanda uji yowano. Yoji government of magic administration government the zonga dagrawa. The tender uji tene some of your mares.
So here, when we read, like in the Dharma text, it says that you will suffer if you do non-virtue. This isn't what it's saying is there's not like some dharma like legal system where there's some judge that's going to if they catch you doing a non-virtuous thing, they're gonna throw you in dharma prison and you're gonna suffer. Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
That tiga na yang ngason gashi samgdo oh ta I don't believe anything. Tini China tini ko yung mewano tini rang maris.
Also, some people think, I don't believe any of that. If I can't see it, I don't, think there's going to be any invisible, karma that's going to determine my destiny. And that's not true either.
That's not true, yeah. Tini that ko rangiris, naturis.
Yeah, the results of our karma are natural.
Pendo cha shavina, tangin ngado kong shubana yere, kong labana yere. Ngado shedang lang baka wa shedang lang de ka tigarang korang la machi waji yungruwa. The music suyo mare, rang shedang lang de shedang de yungris, rangiris, korang la ya, for nature of law, yungro.
So, as I talked about earlier, for example, anger. Anger does arise. Naturally arises. It's, a natural reaction that people have.
Yeah, naturally this uncomfortable. So this is something. Somebody make you sad or make suffering, no need. So this, when you're angry, so immediately uncomfortable physically and mentally. So that's natural. So you believe or you don't believe, or you want or you don't want. So same way, there are gewan order of the Chambatan Ningi Yoga, Tatangi Conti fed. He yoga gabla, Lucianity, or Yota. So the young weary. Hotel Rangiroa. Jay can't count on the Chorajo, Choran de Bay, Solo Yanga or Jada. Any matter?
So, uh, just as when we get angry, our bodies feel uncomfortable, our blood pressure rises, and so forth, as a natural result. So, too, when we have feelings and states of love and compassion, our hearts open and relax, and we feel joy inside. It's part of, you know, just what we naturally feel when we have love and compassion in our hearts.
Mm. So interesting, right? So even though like we are 10 and virtues, right? 10 and virtues and the 10 virtues. So kind of naturally happens. Maybe you lie someone, right? But the other person believe whatever he says. But your feeling is like not really relax, just not enjoy. So that's nature, even though you're telling the lie, maybe that person is just believe, oh, maybe that's right. But I lie to maybe other people believe, but my feeling is not really joyful. Maybe more worry, maybe he understands believe or not, or sort of like more difficulties come up and again, and temporarily, and also long run. But still there's like consequences, later on in life. So this name, which is like kind of always the natural difficulties. Yeah, of course, if you're stealing or those things. So these positive things, they say the faith or devotion, or then just naturally kind of happy, relax. So what that did to hear about yours, Teresa, what that did to la yang, chi, tanga su jeta mege wanda wina, mege wala tene, sasha wata la yang, tene, chaya yore, yaya yore is. Temato beke chi, ta mege wala, ngato ji, karse bore, rangi le ongorwa, loa yomodes. Yendo ngato le ji zuma la yanda o da ji karse na, tene yomares. Rangi lumi he bashos.
Mhm. So, um, we should understand that uh, the nature of cause and result is infallible. And so, if we do, for example, negative deeds, like we, go around and lie and do other types of non-virtuous things, uh, it's a natural result that we will experience difficulty and so forth. We should understand that, this isn't just some arbitrary uh, rule of the words, but this is what happens when we engage in such activities.
Ini nyamso lena zundu he bashos. Nyams lena tiki drivi tongo yuna zundu gubres.
So then, in practice, may I know diligence. And so, to really reach the fruition of practice, then we should know that if we want that fruition, then we need to be diligent and persevere. So, uh, may we recognize this and follow it.
Ta zundu te yang tene, yang trova ji gubres. Zundu te la ji pushing yo china, digyo mares. Trova ji gubres.
And so, when it comes to diligence and perseverance, uh, the real way to do this is to really take joy and delight in practice. It's not to work ourselves, uh, you know, raw. It's to really enjoy, to take delight, and so delightful effort is true diligence.
Like, for example, so if you're doing the meditation or whatever you practice, so it begins, beginning, so just they said, okay, sort of like what beginners or start. So just relax, right? And then they said, first looking up, nice here, wherever you are, shine on, whatever your practice room or under the tree, whatever. So just kind of imagine this nice place. And secondly, this uncomfortable, sit. You make cushions or whatever, just nice. And then sort of we call it sometimes like or benign or breathings, or sometimes we call it just exhales, sort of like the spine a little bit straight up, and then so just kind of lose your tension and sort of little bit behind whatever different concept, different thoughts, different, so sort of like really put into the nature. So there, whatever you start, chanting or meditation or recitation. So shouldn't think that your job, oh, I must be this practice, but that's really difficult, kind of like. But there is the, benefits, sure, but you not get 100%, So maybe I don't. So, I think in particular, these days, one hand is okay, we are here, in the US, maybe we have enough food, so on, so this is not really big problems. But same time, so we have like too many things going on, so also technology, we see that there are problem, so we're hearing like all the time. So then even though like we own like really maybe don't have maybe the really not problems, but we see problems then like really not relaxed at all. So yes, of course, we cannot block those things. But same time, it really is the very important is like at least every day, something hour or couple hours, whatever you practice, or meditation or chanting, or that is really important, So this kind of like could refresh in the life too. So otherwise we keep going, problems we see all the time, like the world. So then there's no relax. It really is, even though like you physically you're not some specific jobs, but mentally too many things going on all the time. So that is really, of course we not achieve enlightenment, of course, but even though temporarily we don't have the relax and joyful, or we don't have the peaceful. So that's why really peace and happy is my experience, or I believe, is only Dharma practice, That's so probably the other things maybe there is, I'm not sure. So that is, I think, really important. And also, in the practice and the meditations, it is medicine, for the body, for the mind. So we 100 billions the drugs or vitamins, that's probably good, but really, I think practice and the meditation, it is like the motive, the vitamin or energy, real like kind of medicine, I believe. So that's very important, this life. And of course, they keep going. You kind of open your mind, yeah, may achieve enlightenment, later on. But even though, okay, doesn't matter enlightened or not, but day to day is, if you really daily practice, you really can able to find a peace and happy through your own stream your mind. Utilità so and also practice. So I said like diligent, and also you have to routine. I said maybe a day or 2 hours. Actually, also I believe also we have many things. Oh, I need to finish this one. I buy this job. I have my project. Yes, I need to do this. Yes, that's important. But among those, how many your project, your goals, whatever your work, but practice priority, that is most important. Whatever job or whatever, that is most important practice, Sometimes, I don't have the practice, or I don't have time. But that's not true, You can find the practice, even though somewhere like going to jobs, but sometimes we TV, so we have watch the TV have time, and the different things we have time, and then why the time is really important part is it's just I don't have time. But anyway, so this kind of the two things, so you practice, joyful, relax, and routine. So of course, sometimes you're not familiar, a little bit, of course, comfortable, but slowly you're familiar, and then one day your practice, it is like your food, so that's important, understand. So how much benefit you understand, you realize. So that moment, then you have kind of increase your faith and trust. Yeah, beginning is difficult. You never ever get your fully faith, fully devotion, because you don't know, so somebody guess, oh yeah, I have faith, but very difficult arise it. So if you really realize how much benefit, so then you understand, oh, this is the powerful. So then kind of real authentic faith or devotion arise. So there, I think next one is
So then it says, in benefiting others, may I know sacrifice.
thì đã做我就参加的叫我们送个多，就送我的，行动让动还有哪有，反正行动还有哪有，让动还有哪有，让动大一呢还有哪有，行动明白行政，
行动
明白行政，yeah. You understand?
The Gyalwang Rinpoche ki song.
Oh, jawar mo.
Ya pache nga shingyu.
Okay, okay. Tini siya yung maris.
So, the nga lapna.
Okay.
I think this is what Drupon is saying. So, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has this taught. If you're really selfish, then you'll want to benefit others. Because when you benefit others, then you really benefit yourself. Denangshi?
Yeah, no, that's correct. So they said like on sake, right? I want something. They said kayu layu. Ta is mouth and hand. So which means in on-site, we say something like this, they're doing just immediately action. You understand? Okay, so the on-site, right?
For your own sake.
Your on-site. And then this, okay, kayu lao, ka means mouth, and lak is hand. So like mouth says, I need to do something. Okay. So like, for example, I need tea. I immediately got the tea. So that's more. But whatever I thinking and doing, like immediately, simultaneously doing.
Yeah.
But the sake of others, they said, Mingma Singzing means, okay, he needs this help. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. But they're not doing anything action. Only like the eyes like, oh, sure, yeah, I need help. That person, yeah, sure. Yeah, I need this important person, but they're not doing anything. So the Dalai Lama said, don't do that. Tinita tila karsena ngaso hiendo drop the sacrifice majina hiendo drop to marwa. Raji kuzamotana drop to mar. Hiendo mone hiendo chigona. Yana pesha tangona kaleja gona kuti sacrifice chigogri mato sacrifice kaya maji batangi. Oh yeah, ko ropa go do ya ko shata lamna. Kaya pento yo mare da gona. Ina ko sacrifice chigogri stina da pento growa.
Right. If we don't actually do anything to help others, our, just well wishes won't really do anything unless we really sacrifice something.
Right. So if you really want to benefit others, so whatever kind of sacrifice, whatever, otherwise not benefit others. You're only thinking, oh, maybe, yes, of course, Buddhism said prayers, other sentient beings, yes, probably this. That's okay, but also, if you really actually the benefit others, you have to really give or doing something, so otherwise not really benefit others.
I think in English we call that lip service.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you just talk. Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but you never do anything.
Yeah, good idea, this and that. 다 현변dom나 로통 해버렸다. 라마 때는 이치 해버렸어.
So then, in relying on the Lama, may I know trust?
다들 당기지 대반도 그래. 다 라마 원에 땡기요나. 라마 때를 좀 따라 이거 말했어. 라마 코나 좀은 좀래. 라마 코나 좀으로 봐. 코나 responsibility래. 니나 라마 좀도 우선은 랑센 타마차가 이거 말어 봐. 대매도 발세는 랑센도 줄어매가지고 라마도 야보인 삼바테니 노지 매다 라메 가르치기도 라마 좀도 문도 되니 다야 이거 말했어.
So it says, in relying on the Lama, may I know trust. And so when it comes to our teachers, of course, there's responsibility on the teachers to, not, to really uphold, decent conduct and so forth. However, beyond that, it's important for ourselves to not overanalyze, everything, every last thing, and, be looking for every last fault in our teachers. When we, recognize that they are a decent teacher and so forth, we should strive to have confidence and see them purely in this way. And so through this, we should cultivate trust.
이는 라마 종요레스. 라마 종요 매요 말레스. 종요레스.
And so
이 종데 랑기 되니도 오지 삼노탄디나 라미 종잖아 삼노탄 라마 페종 레나이 통그레스. Some love your wa.
Mm-hmm. So it's not that teachers don't have any faults at all. Everyone has some faults. And so, if we just obsess about, every last, minor fault and flaw, uh, we're not going to see anyone without any faults. Um, However, uh, the key point is to uh, not do that.
Right. Also, this I think where we specific, so yeah, of course, general, not your lama. Yeah, they can, yes, something, they're false. Maybe you can say that's false, that's okay. But however, if you specific your lama and you are really sincere practice, so then you're not looking the faults. Because you're looking the faults, you not arise the devotion. So impossible to gather. So also the Lama's faults, his responsibilities, his karma. So we're thinking about when I go Lama's something, thinking about the faults. So that moment is not pure mind. So my side, like I a practitioner, right? So I practitioner. So I started looking for positive things. Okay, Lama teach me this. Okay, he taught me this. I received this. Now I understand practice. Maybe there's like a lot of karmic connections, not only this life, maybe many previous life. So if you are pure motivation, then slowly, so you get realization. So even the maybe Lama horse, maybe not Lama is not realization, but you can get realization. So that's thinking, so but if you're thinking this, okay, Lama, also they said your Lama is, everything is wrong. At the same time, you are still wrong too. So together, so not getting better. So that, I think, so this, if you see Lama Tena, that kind of positive matter we can make the your maris. Depend on around your matter, Lama Chiba your maris.
And so, really, when we are relying on a teacher, when we have decided to rely on a teacher, then we should try to see them in the best, most positive light, and do whatever we can to see their qualities and the best of them.
그게 냠토도 대바 해볼 줬다 뭐 몰라 상임바 대비 돈 봐.
Um, so the Yangasuno,
냠토 너나 대바 해볼 줬어.
oh, so in desire of experience and realization, may I know faith.
Oh, that's we talking about love, right? Love 사요와.
So we have covered this.
진짜 상가로 당나 해봐 줬어.
So in practicing secret mantra, may I know pure view.
다 대성으로 나도 베게 탑이 나와들라. 상가로 들어나 상가들라 대성도와. 제당가도 기타 대성 상가이나다 답이 나와라. 양거리 스페나 사전대 있는데 답이 현금으로 오지. 그와 유. 신노 김지캔람나들 양면에 유로와 현금. 나 주지 심전에다 담텔라 이 심전 수이나 뭐지 사다 아무거랑 이 니지리 선배 나와도 하고래스.
So then it is taught in the tradition of secret mantra, we should cultivate pure perception. And so when we look at the outer world and the universe, if we are secret mantra practitioners, we should see its pure essence as being a immeasurable pure realm. And the inner contents of sentient beings within the universe, each and every one of these sentient beings, we should see as arising and appearing as male and female deities and various gendered deities and so forth.
다디 개체 뭐 휴래. 대인도 다 텐디지 요비나 텐디 제탕가서 유대 상마 샘 속이요 와. 아 샘디고 감 샘디기 유드 소로 그래. 배나 for example 가서 배나 사천들 약보면도 늘 현황서도 삼나티니 현황 요다도 요래. 삼자이나 공가든 세야라 I don't know here but 나서다 나 로충요로 근데 사장가시 근데 요래다 안돼 요래라 안돼 근데 다 들려도 근데 그 남도 어디 왔더니 지 다한다 와단다 만다 소름도 인데 그 샘크소 요로
So the reason,
마다노 자모다나 근데 있어
uh-huh. So the reason for this is that our minds create our experience. When we see things in an impure way, then wherever we go, if we have like fear and apprehension and anxiety, then we see outer circumstances and people and so forth as like enemies. Drupon was saying when he was a young person, child, he went to certain places, for example, and people knew these places to be haunted by like ghosts. That was kind of what people said. And so when he went there with this thought in mind, he would hear all kinds of eerie, strange sounds, and there would be like weird sensations, and all types of strange things would occur when he went to these haunted places. But really, he was just making these up. When you think that way, oh, maybe there's a ghost, then maybe there is a ghost. When the mind perceives something in an impure way, then we experience reality in such a way.
또 제가 나기다가 자꾸 그러지 뭐지 배다 당고 초보이 미가올라 되네 고메트베 약본다고 닝지원다고 출구요 와 얘네 야 라차베다 오 초보이 미가올라 뭐티 가르치는 되게 요래다 배 약본다고 요러 와 얘네 야 초보 많이 미가다나 고 간디나 고 가르치는 거 두본다고 지고 지 두본다고 출구로 와
So Drupon added that it was all the haunted ghost stuff was all in his mind. It wasn't real. And so then the opposite is true too. If we see someone and we think, oh, this person is amazing, they're wonderful, they're a beautiful person. When we see the best in others, then that's what we get. We actually experience that in others. On the other hand, if we, start thinking and come to believe,
right maybe the same person right
the same,
same person. If you're really friends, you lack or so kind of appreciation that time is what he's doing is everything's right, just you agreed and you're okay, but the same person maybe one day maybe you're not become no longer not friends, maybe become enemy. Then that same person, but then he's doing everything wrong, So this even though we have mind, they can change the object. So that's why this with cigarette mantra, everything you see, like a universal, pure land, and as much as thinking, so yeah, of course we have all the Buddha natures, qualities, reality, so you understand, okay, this is like, protectress, techies, so on, so on. That 대통도는 성격해버려서.
So then it says, in desire of bliss and emptiness, may I know their indivisibility.
다 될라 다 성격들이 야나 다 될라 성격 빼면 뭐요래. 이 콘티바나 이래다 가서 제렘 하고 그러와 디토라트니 조렘 곰나 되네. 데려와 어리다 통과를 안 되죠. 제조 성격 제렘도 조렘 성격 봐.
So when we talk about the inseparable union, in this case related to bliss and emptiness, if we talk about inseparable unions, there are many inseparable combinations in practice. For example, when we do the generation stage practice of meditating on the deity, this should be inseparably united with the practice of the completion stage. So you have the inseparable union of the generation and the completion stage.
다 뒤에 들어가는 이가서 범잡이는 양다 성격 빼만 보여래. 범잡이 내가라다 단계 공투가 이래 되네. 나통 성격 송래. 다 가서지 나와 생기줄래 되네. 나용 그러와. 나와데 가서다 나그리 이래야 나위 흥고라 기 나와들 빼네 딱바다 렘바다 장이 쳐바티니 많이 봐. 나와 점지 팅고래야. 엄마이 봐. 테니샤 거래. 되네. 대샤르이나 되네. 그거는 이담으로 치안하고 샤로 치하기 거래. 내가 나이 다다고 의미나요. 지 다다라지 약보다 두고 마지와네. 되네. 그 다코나 타와던지 양 타베 뭐래요. 동반다고지. 되네. 하고나.
So when we meditate, then we meditate on the union of appearances and emptiness. Normally, if we just look at outer appearances and experiences, we might think that they are, permanent, and we might think that they are real and substantial. However, when we recognize that all appearances and experiences only exist in the mind and are inherently empty, then in this way, appearances and beings and so forth arise in the nature of the Yidam deity. So too, sound. When we look at sound and regard sound, ordinarily, on a mundane level, we think some sounds sound good and words sound good. We think, oh, these other words, these sound bad. However, when we look into the true ultimate nature of sound, it is just the inseparable union of sound and emptiness.
어다 뒤에는 나도 이나다 나도 샘나 세통성교 소리네. 샘 단계 공투가 나 이래 되네. 샘배 서로로 고야고 보고요나. 지 동백이 동행을 내도로나. 대양 내바들어야 동바동장 많이 봐. 이 뒤에 그거를 샘들랑 요새와 그 세팅 나오지 보고요. 그래서 세통성교
So then, when we meditate on the nature of the mind, then it is the inseparable union of luminosity and emptiness. And so when we relax, and we look into the ultimate essence of our own mind, we see that there is nothing there. It is empty. However, it is not some blank void of nothingness. There is this inherent luminosity of awareness, this radiance of the mind, but that itself is also empty. So recognizing this, then we see this union of luminosity and emptiness, the nature of the mind.
얘네다 상진도는 짐이 해봐쇼스.
So then it says, in desire of Buddhahood, may I know non-clinging.
나도 가르치는 것은 짐바세 차단하다, 짐바데 차단차디요래. 베네다 상제케 가와지 알아서 뭐뭐치요. 한마디 땅에서 example best example 되어와. 그 상제비 갑라 다 오지 kind of final destination 도와. 디갑라 때네 다동 거랑 다 나서 칠로라 때도 지도 당 네 근데 종벌에 라고래 이나야 다 돈다 그 다동 거랑지 뇽바티 슬랑게요로 가서 뇽바 그래서 지금 도착랑시키 유 샤당제시키 유 근데 제기도 다 제시는 저랑서 통연은 메도 보다 상지 그 무비ትን 요래 자 티는 다 티강라 다동 거랑 상지 거랑기 유 도착제시 유 그 작업해요 짐바메요 샤당제시 유틀란 짐바메요 티강라 티네베가라 근데 상지 소로와
And so here it says, in desire of Buddhahood, may I know non-clinging. And so if we really seek Buddhahood, then we need to go beyond relative dualistic attachments and aversions. And so on the path, we experience the various maras, the demons and so forth, arise on our way to enlightenment. And so if we, maybe you've seen movies about the Buddha attaining enlightenment, and the maras, the demonesses, manifesting as he's about to attain enlightenment. And so
make you less than 10, right?
Kare?
Oh, sorry. That's okay.
So when we practice, afflictive emotions will arise. There are, experiences that we will have aversion to, and anger. There are experiences that we will have desire towards, and so forth. However, to really see the nature of reality as it truly is, we need to go beyond this dualistic perception. And so in the movies of the Buddha attaining enlightenment, if we've seen such, there are like the armies of Mara that come to attack the Buddha, and he's able to go beyond being afraid and having aversion towards those armies. There's also sometimes like maybe attractive emanations of Mara that try to seduce the Buddha, and he's able to see through that dualistic manifestation. And so here this is, in desire of Buddhahood, may I know non-clinging, going beyond attachment and aversion. So in the clarity of my own mind, may all become naturally clear.
focus rang same tama chiari ma to yuje ko ya boso mo ya boso tini ma so to ya yomarwa so ga yomar yuji ya boso to ya mar so go ya yomar in if nga zu same tama dang cha tama cha cha des.
So when we are looking, when we have when we don't have clarity in our mind, and we regard, people outside of ourselves. So we think, oh, that guy, he's good or bad, or that, a woman is good or bad, and so forth. We have all these different types of dualistic thoughts. When our mind is muddled, then we don't see outside of ourselves clearly. However, when we don't have dualistic thoughts in our mind, and we experience clarity uh, inwardly, then outwardly, uh, everything else also becomes naturally clear and pure.
Prendre mina tamji pense.
Um, with nothing to renounce, may all be naturally renounced.
다 당봉가서 ordinarily 빵야 요래 와. 다 메게와 조빵고 그래 개와조 도고 그래 세지 용 그래 다야 야 냠래 치우메 까블라 단기 공트 휴바나 이래 지 그네 뇽모바 커랑 그 랑지 커랑 시에서는 랑지 다 벌어 그네 단기 공트 휴바나 이래 해당다 오지 손들 해당다 효침보리데 해당 커랑 뭐지 똥비 까블라 근데 해당 요 말에 해당 라고 말어 빵야 요 말에 해당 가지 빵야 요 해당 커랑 매발라 빵야 안 와. 我在第一个他帮差不了，老大帮他们呢，他们去帮，他帮下去有那个是帮过了，帮了，他这个门都是帮不起要了吧？你那样，但你妈这没得没话他可能，那这个差的，帮下都要买的。
So here it says, with nothing to renounce, may all be naturally renounced. We could also say, uh, with nothing to abandon. Um, so in the Dharma teachings, it says, clearly that we should engage in virtuous activities, and we should renounce or abandon non-virtuous activities. We should give those up. And we should also like give up afflictive emotions and so forth. However, um, in the case, for example, of afflictive emotions, when we recognize that they are intrinsically, inherently pure, for example, uh, as Drupon mentioned earlier, when we look into the essence of anger, even though when anger arises, we feel like, oh, I'm angry at this thing and so forth. If we look directly into the essence of anger, we see that it is just an empty concept in our mind, and there is no, real intrinsic basis there. So, recognizing the intrinsic purity of afflictive emotions, then we don't need to renounce them when we see that they are naturally pure. And so, uh, relatively, of course, we should engage in virtue and give up non-virtue and so forth. However, eventually, we can get to this stage with nothing to renounce. May all be naturally renounced.
그래 다 타마들이 다 샘지 랑고주 소리 샘지 랑고주 톱 때문에 담시 톱 저는 다 지 당보 가서 뭐 상지 공부 톱 요래 가서 다 프로그램을 요래 다 근데 너 요래 봐 dualistic concept yang yo de ni ta tini ya nyamle ya ching be ka la tini ta tani kong thi wa na ye de chi shi de wa ri bi ni bo da nga zo le yo de xian le ji le to ko ya do xian le ji le ra ko ya kan ya yo ma ko to pong ya kan yo ma ta to ya men do sam ba nga yo wa tili lo shi ra ya to ya men do sam na ta thi ka da tini ta to ba de is a ko ba de is.
And so this last part, with nothing to attain, may all naturally be attained. And so normally, on the path, we, have goals. We in Buddhism, we wish to attain Buddhahood, and we wish to be free from cyclic existence. and so we practice so that we can attain, these goals. Think, oh, I want to, reach Buddhahood and so forth. However, at a certain point, we need to ultimately understand that Buddha nature is essentially the ground of who we are. And so, if we strive to try to attain some Buddha nature outside of the ultimate nature of our own mind, our own continuum, then we'll never find it. And so ultimately, with nothing to attain, may all be naturally attained. We find the ultimate goal within ourselves all along.
Okay. So do you have some questions?
When it says, with all the virtue I have accumulated in the 3 times, and the 3 times being past, present, and future, how can you know what the virtue is that you're going to attain in the future if you haven't been there and done that yet?
All right.
Times.
But they naturally connected. Yes, I will create the virtues. So that's a kind of I borrow the money. So, right? So we can, even though I don't have the money, but I borrow the money. Sort of like, I'm not yet. So then, sort of like, still I virtue. Yes, I will create the virtues. So that's kind of that's merit power I can borrow now. So that I can realize this is whatever. So and also this most important part is also 3 times, and then the innate virtue, right? Innate, you be giver.
Innate.
Yeah, that's we have Buddha nature.
Oh, okay.
So that's most powerful, most merit.
Thank you.
Would you talk a little bit about the difference between blind faith and experienced faith?
Mongpe Debatang.
Yeah, so bling fat and what's it?
And
Yeah.
Mongpe Debatang.
Right. So this actually these beginners sort of like bling fat, but that's really important because we create benefit. Okay, yeah, must be I can like devotion to Buddha or that, but still, yeah, yes or no, but that is have to be built up again. And then the experience faith, whatever that is the unshakable faith. Like for example, even though like Milarepa, right? So Milarepa, sort of we can see believe faith beginning. He sort of understand, okay, he did create the negatives, he was very worried, maybe if not practice Dharma, not having that karma, maybe he can be born over realms, he understand. So he understand sort of like benefit Dharma, but still don't have truly faith. So how to bring faith, so bring faith means sort of like little bit understand, but not truly understand. So that's actually important at the beginning. But experience faith is the Milarepa. I think if you read the song, so then one day he meditated, and then he said, then, oh, now I have faith to Marva. So the reason is he gets realization. So he experienced. So then the realization, how important, how precious And then interconnects, why I get realization. So because of the marva. So they're kind of unshakable deeply than this kind of he has faith. So that's his experience. So we ordinarily very difficult, that kind of like authentic faith is very difficult. But same time, we are like beginning, yes, this kind of what I know, teba jumano.
Uncontrived faith. Or first we have to contrive our
Right.
faith.
Yeah. So that's this kind of blind faith. But also we beginning, yes, we have to have, So then slowly this kind of we understand it, realize how much benefit we understand. And then also this, so probably I don't know blind faith it was 또 당보다 데려와가지고 대바 솜샤고 노베 대바세야 딱 레뷰어서레스.
So in the Tibetan tradition, there really isn't like an equivalent for blind faith. The first stage of faith, there is this system of 3 levels of faith. So the first level of faith is like desiring faith.
근데 다 근데 지리야야 손데 되네 직 라마 땡고나 부다 땡고나 되네 거기 체르 야르 되네 다음에 대발레고요 살아와.
And so desiring faith is just kind of liking, the 3 jewels and so forth. And then as we develop more trust and confidence in the Buddhas and teachers and so forth, then we develop what is called longing faith. This is the second level of faith.
근데 다 타마데다 authentic scenario realization 차이나 되네 다이 집에 되네 unshakable 그런 대바ትን 요함에 차그러와.
So then as we practice and realize that the teachings, when we practice them, they have truly authentic achievable results. And when we gain realization ourselves, then we have this confident trusting faith that is unchanging, because we know that the Dharma and the teachers are truly authentic. So that is the third level.
But your Petty say you're right, that we can use the blind faith. So blind faith is probably beginning, but sometimes maybe don't understand anything, but something, maybe they have something magic or something, kind of maybe don't understanding like whatever benefits, but still you sort of like believe maybe.
Chitan de inji ki loksula de nukcho ki loksula de blind faith samsam la dupore de timu ki legare yene nangchu ki loksu nangla dupe ki deba de yabodu samsam la de des ngune nelo ako ki mipa kimi konzo dupe ki depa yore de yakshu mare yene chitan dupe ki depa chitan yapodo de blind faith samsam la pe dupore de ranki chon drabore de des chepa champo yore.
Yeah, so the blind faith is just kind of more ignorant, I think, right? So maybe this is something you fed to that person really don't know right or wrong, but sort of like believe maybe good something.
So is faith along with the accumulation of merit as we mature, our accumulation of merit, our accumulation of faith also matures?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And also this kind of interesting, sort of like kind of like growing together, you know. So if you meditation, you know, so this mind is more clear. So they're all coming together. You may be more faith, you may be more understand karma cause effect, and you more develop the compassion. So those kind of like grow together. So like kind of helping each other. So if you want focus, maybe you only really like loving kindness, you know, bodhicitta. And at the same time, just you understanding karma cause effect, and you more like same thing you like help to the faith. So that's kind of like all, yeah, basically helping each other. So
Going back to your experience when you were young with going to the places with ghosts, so. I have fears that come up because where I live, it's known to be a place where UFOs hang out, and I've seen them and Ken's seen them, and we've had a lot of experiences. And at a deep level, I know I've had a feeling too, but it's so out of the ordinary for me at times that I just get. And last summer, Ken had an experience, and he's going to be rational, right? He's got a degree in physics, he's really smart. He didn't, you know, he had an experience with like a huge craft over a pond. This is up in Canada. And he told me about it in the morning, and I just got into this fear state again. And I want to get to a level, and people who live down the lake, who've been there forever, have said, when we were kids 7 years ago, we used to go to your property to look for UFOs. Like down to the red lake. I just happens to be right there. And you know, but how do I like at a deeper level again, I know that everything is inherent, well, yeah, the relative and the absolute, but in the relative, I do go into fear at times. So how do I overcome that?
The Zumtro ki namdrun de Zakar Shantra ne namdun Zumtro ki namdrun lepa Murang teki kola.
yeah, of course, this is natural too, you know, natural. But also same time, that's kind of really natural. We can, oh, I said, oh, I don't feel anything, you know, that's kind of impossible. At the same time, we are practitioners, so kind of like sometimes there is demons too, you know, there is kind of like I believe, but like 50-50. So 50 is just imagination. Really. So you're okay, you know, so fear, maybe there is, maybe not, you know. Yeah, but sometimes there's different things too. Like sometimes really, I think so. One thing okay, this my story is we sometimes help the animals. They like really late, yeah, like midnight, you know. So one time, so I said, so same thing. This somebody said there one kind of really rocky mountain down below. They said there's demons, you know. Everybody saying. So I walk. So they're really nosy. They go, something, you know. So I thought, well, sometimes, you know, I afraid, you know, there's something hearing nosy, but I just really careful listening. They're nosy. So first I thought, oh, okay, that 100% something going on there. So I tried to run, you know. I planning to maybe other look up the mountain and then go down there. And then second, okay, doesn't matter. Okay, I really need to this investigating what is that, you know. So they just kind of cannot see anything, but I don't have flashlight, and so Then just listening, just follow the sound, follow the sound, follow the sound. So they're very, very close. I got there. Actually, this Rocky Mountain, one sheep fall down in the mountain and they didn't die by cannot standing. So this is not demon. So sometimes, I said it kind of like, if I go wrong, I scared. So I said, I telling everybody, yeah, I want there are demon, they are nosy, I telling everybody, but really it's not demon, But sometimes I say this concept. But if really strong concept, then they said demon maybe will show up, the real demon. You remember this Malarepa, like Salius, I think you remember. So first he had in the cave, in the meditate, and they like first day they really break open, crack, So then kind of first day, like, oh, it looks really strange, crack, this so kind of strange. Maybe there is a demon or something, He's thinking. So then maybe I don't during the meditation time, I'm not sure he's thinking every day or I'm not sure. But anyway, later on, there we call rocky demon come through that rock. So kind of interesting, this kind of imagination is. So sort of like creators, Malarepa, but then this real demon come show up. So like kind of some people really see things exactly. Maybe possible, but also creator is who's kind of thinking. So but sometimes, so also some areas there are different energies, I know, different, definitely something going on, some low deities like really the positive things, really good happening, and some areas like always like negative influence. That's sure. But that's why we doing the like smoke offerings, something tea offerings, and naga offerings, and that helps. And also we kind of remove both, So this maybe we logo that is happy, we have concept, I get small offering, but then fields look like benefit. So logo that is.
And some practitioners, like Machi, right? They go to the channel grounds. It's like hanging out in the graveyard, to overcome the fear, right? I'm not saying I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of best option. So sometimes I say, we fear create more and more. So like go through, like I said, magic, just cutting. So and then no longer here. But also this mainly is I say, the best ones stop clinging, the magic is that really practice, really there is demon or not, but he kind of cutting through the dualistic concept. That's his purpose.
Right.
But also, so maybe no fear, no worries, go through. But same time, maybe I don't know, some animals, bears, or so on. Careful too. We have more questions.
You mentioned the inseparable union of sound. Could it be said that that's Om?
Right. So this, yes, we comment, right? But I think it is sound. So sound is ordinary sound too. So like, for example, yes, this mantra is that we call sound of emptiness inseparable. also, for instance, somebody or yelling you, telling you like unpleasant speak or something, you know. So we practitioners, you understanding or you realize, yeah, just sound emptiness, you know. So then that's it. So just you hearing like sound of mental. So like become sound of mental. So ordinarily we reaction, you know, so why you say that? Or just so we can reply. Then it's, you know, we not realize that sound of emptiness. The same thing, like this difficult, you know, those things. The highest yoga is kind of like Vajrayana practice. Really high too, you know, so very difficult, you know, so if you appearance, we call appearance, emptiness is separable, but we not really this kind of whatever we seeing, this right, no, I like, I don't like, yeah, that's, but we not realize quickly the appearance, emptiness is separable. But we realize that appearance, emptiness, so that's a kind of we call yidam deity. So also the yidam deity is just kind of symbolize, so like pure thing, but also this Vajradhara one we call six, the beginning Vajradhara. So Vajradhara we call six Vajradhara, right? So what called this? What they said, six English? The beginning.
The Injigela Druk Yomare. The yeah. So yeah, we generally when we talk about Vajradhara, we call Vajradhara in the Buddhism context the sixth Buddha Vajradhara, which
I think I have the Tibet, but maybe I forget the six. But anyway.
Yeah, Injigela Yomare Che.
Okay, so actually we call six Vajradhara. The six means no, five. So Buddha Vajradhara, the five afflicted emotions transform five, like five, and his Buddha nature. So that called six. How to symbolize? One hand is just Buddha Vajradhara is kind of like the pure, what is symbolized. The topic nowadays, social. But one hand is not really kind of like physical or something ordinary, you know, body. So just everything symbolized. And also this kind of like a glue. So the also Nyingma tradition, they said that the Kundu Sambo or those are blue. So which means the sky, right? So the sky is the only best example in the mind. That's very close, we can example, otherwise we cannot, Buddha nature cannot explain it like this, like that, you know. Even the sound completely enlightened, but still cannot explain it verbally. Only the basic kind of example is the sky or space. Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of a subtle point of practice, but so I kind of get appearance and emptiness and sound and emptiness, that those ideas. But often when we practice, it's that all sounds are complete as the deity, and all appearances are complete as the deity.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in my mind that means the appearance of the deity and the sound of the mantra are completely empty and pure, right? So then it's like the same as all sounds are emptiness, right?
Right, yes.
But it's just a little weird because sometimes they're like, all appearances are the body of the deity and all sounds are the mantra, are complete as the mantra of the deity.
Right. So this mantra is the inseparable sound of
Right.
emptiness.
Okay, but sometimes in my dualistic mind, I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
That's not emptiness, that's a deity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so deity means, so we can, like, those are like kind of we can symbol drawing or whatever it looks like, but this is not really deity,
Right,
so
no,
like
yeah,
our
yeah.
statues is not really
No.
deity. Kind of like image, but probably not like that. So the real deity is the luck.
Is the indivisibility of the appearance.
Right, emptiness, yeah.
Sound.
I said yesterday maybe Buddha's here or Dada's here. So that we cannot see. So that is real that, And also these three things, okay, bodies in appearance, emptiness, and sound is sound of emptiness inseparable, and the mind and the bliss, emptiness inseparable.
It's very important.
Mhm.
Yeah, and, not to make light of it, but there's been times where, after all these years of certain practices, certain realizations kind of like, what they're saying is really true, and the refuge is really there,
Oh,
And
yeah.
then, you hear these phrases like, I can never repay the kindness of my goodness. In those times, those kind of words come to me, right? So it's like experiential faith. It's like a love, a trust.
Okay, so now, yeah, so if no questions, so then we have to dedication.
Well, let's see if Helene's got it.
Okay.
Or anybody online.
How did you know?
Yes,
So
clairvoyance.
he can understand patterns of behavior. Please, I have always been very confused and lacking in understanding about this word luminosity of the mind. I have completely no idea what, I mean, because, in our day-to-day, it has an everyday meaning, and I don't think that's what it means in the dharmic sense. So if you could talk a little bit about that, that would be also wonderful. Thank you.
De semni ki usa de ki kola de moran pache chitan ki u tang chitan ki sawa tang sem ki ngo de usa de chepa karere tang de sem ki ni ngo de
Really? That jeta thewa nga so de sem je rang yu se wa sung du jeta nga so de pena cha sha wi na sem di ke nam do ta khale pa thang so na ro nam do ta thang be ka bla tene nam do te me be ka bla tene ko rang yi ki wu se wa di sem ke zena thang se ne da wo ji yong yo da ji wu di be da ni ma na yu tene ma ri ti ne yang ko sem ko se ti da wo ji se wo no ji pena cha sha wi na sem ke rang yu zi da nga zi make do da lo do ba ni ma sha di ne ti se ting ding de yo wa o ti ni sem ji ne so na ke si make zom di na ko ti ki na sem de be ko da tong be ki na sem ta tong ba se na ri ko sem ke ngo de ta na ba to pa pa ye be ka la ti ne sem de se ting do he sha ge yo ta se ting ti ga na ya sem se wo ti ga na ti ne ti ya ta ko te ji nga zo dewa teni jegi yorwa. Ina dewa dan seba nyebodi ko jik samsam dewa je, samsam nyamda je, samsam teni ta ko teni shalgi yosarwa. Wata teni nga zo tadung jik nga zo da liye tangbo ba segarwa teni nyamno shalgi yores. Teni ta ko jik hama ngoma ten sanje komba tu ta semji rang yu sewa de ngo ta authentic ngo yulgi yosarwa. Ina jeta nga zo tanda nyamne chini ka la teni yungu yores. 때문에 더 파라 방송나 되네 샘지 세우는 거지 샤거를 세우티 몰라요 준장 리비나 되네 내가 되네 제기요래 보다 들리러 이는
So,
딱히 냠뇨제리 마토이 다 도도 안 되는 제리 슬랍도 나와
mhm. So the nature of the mind, having this quality of luminosity, um, on one hand, it's not like there is a brightness that, is just like, sunlight or light from a light bulb or, a, physical kind of light. It's something that transcends just ordinary, mundane light. When we look into the essence, the empty essence of the nature of the mind, and thoughts are pacified, and we see the nature of the mind clearly, there is this clarity, this unobstructed clarity. And so this clarity, this ability to see, and so this is something that occurs even if our eyes are shut. There is this clarity, this quality there. So you know this is something that kind of transcends just being ordinary, mundane type of light. However, on the temporary path, when we practice, for example, if we get to a strong state of meditation where our thoughts are at rest and we're looking into the essence of our mind, there are experiences of bliss and like clarity and so forth, and like non-conceptuality that will arise temporarily. And so this clarity of the mind usually arises together with an experience of bliss. And so this is something that even, people who are beginning to meditate, they start to experience this kind of luminous clarity of the mind, and, also experiences of bliss. Um, However, the luminous nature of the mind, the ultimate nature of the mind, refers to the realization of the Buddhas, and so that even transcends temporary experiences that arise in meditation. And so, really, to understand this, the luminous nature of the mind, the only ultimate way to understand this is through our own practice. If we just use intellectual words and so forth to discuss it, it's not going to really show us what, is being talked about on the inside. This is something that, ultimately we come to know through our experience and realization.
Thank you.
Meditation.
I think I do want to say that I really hope that Drupon, you will come back soon because we are so thrilled to have you be here. Thank you so much for coming.
you're welcome. I will.
Great, great.
Okay. The virtues collected in
Three times and myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana. I am in a virtue. May I, all sentient beings, quickly attain and surpass perfect, complete, great enlightenment. May the teachings of Great Digumba Ranashiri, who is omniscient, Lord of Dharma, Master interdependence, continuing increase, study, practicing, contemplation, meditation, and Thank you.